goes fast.
All right. Oh, hey, wait a minute. We're in the wrong spots. Look what you did to me.
Oh, well, are you going to flip us?
I'm going to fix this. Hold on. I will be right back.
There goes her type A.
All
It's
right.
showing. It's showing.
Hey, it just say conversations with Sherry and Terry Ann. So Sherry has to be under the Sherry name or it just doesn't work. Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Sherry and Terry Ann. And now we're in the right spot, so it works. This is episode 53. Can you believe it? Episode 53. And
Wow.
so let's get started with introductions. I am Terry Ann Porter, life coach TA. It is time to start defeating those lies of negative self talk by changing your perspective, which will reveal possibilities out there that you hadn't noticed before. Those possibilities will open up various pathways onto which you can choose to proceed in truth. And as always, my co host, the amazing Sherry Berger.
Good morning. Good morning. For those of you that don't know me, I am Sherry Berger with Here to There Consulting. And we educate business owners with those tools to balance life, business, and finances so that you can create the life and business that you deserve. Because that's so important to have all those together so that you can have growth, leadership, success in your business and your life. So welcome, welcome. I'm so excited about this episode. Yes, and it is already September 15th. Can you believe it?
Oh my goodness, already.
So should I freak Terry Ann out? Terry Ann had to make sure I was on this side. But then Terry Ann always goes first and then Sherry goes. So I don't know. There's this weird, I don't even know what your logic in this is, but that's fine.
Hey, it works. It works. You get a routine and you stick to it.
Don't you love different people's personalities? I think we should have a topic on that later. I think we we did about our own, but it's great to look at how you can work well with different personalities. So I love being here with Terry Ann, and we were about ready to go live, right, Terry Ann? And we were busy talking and we forgot we needed to go live too. So good morning. It's been a fun morning already. I don't know about you guys.
Good morning, Grace.
Today we're going to talk about your why.
Why?
Well, yeah, your why in your business, your why in your life. What is your dream? What is your desire, right? Why? Why do we do what we do, right? Or whatever, you know what I mean? And if you forget what your why is in your business and what your passion is, then sometimes you get lost on your road. It's the same way with your life, right? If you forget what your passion is, what your road is, or what your dream is, or what your desire is, your why is so important. You and I know each other from Toastmasters, and if we forget the why of why we joined Toastmasters, then we can't be making that goal. And those goals might change over time. I know with Toastmasters, they definitely have changed with me. I bet they have with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, good morning. What we want to know is what your guys' why is. So what is your why for doing what you do for a living or in your life, Terry Ann?
Oh my goodness. I think the biggest part, well, a lot of the why is, to pay the bills, to keep the family together. That's kind of the surface why. I think if I dig a little deeper, so why is that important to me? Well, gosh, it's important to me that my family, even though my daughters are, they're grown on their own, have been for a long time. They've got kids of their own. But a lot of my why involves staying in touch with them because that's important to me. Why is it important to me? Because I like the family connection. I believe in the family connection. So the same kind of thing then for my business. Why is developing the business important? Well, first of all, same answer everybody has. Well, I got to pay the bills somehow. Okay, I've got to pay the bills, but why choose what I'm doing? I love to listen to people. I love it when I can just listen to somebody, talk with somebody, see the excitement as they come to the realization of their capabilities and to watch them to succeed. I joke about, I do a lot of virtual vacations. I go along with other people on their virtual vacations. Thanks to social media, I'm right there with them on the beach or wherever, and I haven't left my house. Well, the same way as when I see something, and maybe you and I have talked about something, Sherry, and you go and you do it and you succeed, and I see the smile on your face and just the brightness all around you. And I can be happy with and for you in that very thing. I enjoy being part of that, watching somebody else grow. And the biggest why for me, health wise, there's days I can barely move. I can't make it to an office. So let me do what I enjoy doing in a situation where I can control my surroundings and still be able to participate. That was my biggest why.
Yeah. And, we all need to make a difference. I mean, we all need to make a living, right, for our families. But what are we doing? Like Grace says, my why is to make my mom proud of my choice of career in my life, to spread love, kindness, and gratitude. And I want to be the light in the darkness. So that's her big, big why. So she probably already went down all those, because everybody needs to make a living. Most people want to provide for their families. Some people don't want to work corporate America. But why do you do what you do, right? Which I think you covered very well. And health, like you a lot of people don't know that you have some health problems, and some days getting out of bed is a huge what is it called,
It's a
accomplishment
success to get out of bed some days.
but you are so passionate to help others with their mindset and them getting out of bed or them getting through whatever that breakthrough is, right? And that's what everybody, I'm saying right, you didn't ding me. But that's what everybody loves about Terry Ann, right? Right, again. When your career becomes a job, it's time to find a new career. That was my biggest why. And that's true. You should do what Gerald, I always like to say my Geraldisms. And by the way, Grace, you and I need to meet. I know she was looking for momisms. I got some second dadisms. Come on now. So my Geraldism is, Gerald told me when I was going to college, Gerald told me I was a single parent trying to get out of a very bad situation, coming out of an abusive marriage, not having a GED, not having a driver's license, not knowing what I was going to do next. Just couldn't figure out how to provide for me and a baby, right? And he's like, stop saying right, Sherry. And he's like, and don't say like. But anyway, Gerald was like, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And I'm like, yeah, that would be great. But right now I am 20 years old, coming out of a bad marriage, have an 18-month-old, working at Shawnee Mission Hospital. I need to make more money. I need to figure out a different thing. And he's like, breathe, calm down, do what you love and get paid for it. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Like you could actually do what you would do for free is what Gerald would say, and then get paid to do it. Because then you never work a day in your life. Then he talked about a couple of his jobs, only a couple in his whole stupid life that he actually worked. Because he goes, the other ones I was just playing. And I'm like, you're a system analyst for IBM. That's not playing. He goes, I don't know. I have coffee with people and I hang out and I fix stuff. Well, I always had that in the back of my head, right? When I went to school, got my degree, I ended up as a system analyst at Sprint. I was a programmer analyst. I did not like that job, by the way, in case you care, Terry Ann. They tried to put me in a cube and they actually wanted me just to code all day, which I could do. But I like people. System analyst, I loved. I broke things, went around, tried to figure out how to fix them, talk to all the people, put teams together. And now today I am doing what I love to do. Jokingly, I always tell people I just sit down, have a cup of coffee and come up with solutions to people's problems. It's pretty easy. Ha, ha, ha. No, but I love what I do. And my big passion in the world is to make a difference in others, right? Mm-hmm. That is my life passion. And that means in my family, that's with my friends, that's with strangers, right? So again, quit saying right. And then my passion in my business is to help you create the life and business that you deserve, because I want to make a difference in that as well. And what I love is when you're on the right journey and you're doing the right thing, in your passion and what you're good at and what comes natural to you. Like I always tease, you do not want me to be your secretary. I do not file things. I cannot, what is it called? Write essays for you or write emails or whatever you want me to do. That is not my strong suit. But if the whole system's down, I can pull it all back together and put it back together. But now I'm just working with systems and people in business and saying, how's that working for you?
Mm-hmm.
How can we fix, And when it comes natural to you, you're in your God-given abilities and who you are. But I'm just going to be honest, 20-year-old Sherry did not understand that when Gerald tried to tell me that. I was like, that doesn't even make sense. And now I try to tell my young kids this. And they're like, Mom, that's just not how life really works. And I'm like, yeah, really it is. So I think sometimes as we evolve, like Carla said, I know she's doing exactly what she loves to do as she's working a job, I guess, if you want to call it a job. But I think she even likes her job. I don't want to speak for somebody else, but sometimes, would you just say, Terry Ann, I think you loved what you did before what you do now, right?
Oh, I loved what I did before.
But reality was health, everything else. So how can I do what I love
Mm-hmm.
doing in a better setting?
Mm-hmm.
Like I started running my own business 20 years ago because as a system analyst for Sprint, they wanted me to basically choose between my career and my kids. They wanted, when my kids were sick, for me to put them in a sick daycare. And I'm like, that wasn't my vision. That was not my mission. That's not why I mean, I love, in case nobody knows, being a wife, and I love being a mom, and it comes natural to me. And I love working with people. It's just who I am. So now you're not letting me be the mom I want to be because I had to choose between a career. And so after I had my third child, I stayed home and started running my own business. But over time, you figure out what you're good at, what you're passionate about. I actually thought I was going to run my own daycare business, and that didn't go very well for me. I did it for a minute. I went to daycare provider because that was a quick fix, right? I'm just going to run daycare. I have 3 kids. I'll stay home with my kids. Well, by the way, I don't want to be home with just a bunch of little people. I love being a mom, but I don't want just little people. So when I went to Daycare Connection and I realized these women were great at what they were doing, but they didn't understand the systems and procedures to put their business together, guess what? I fell right into that. So sometimes if you let your natural self come through, you'll find that out. But anyway, that's all about me, but we want to hear about everybody else. Carla's saying, I love my job, pharmacy, when I'm only there 2 days a week. These are the days I help build my boss's business. The other 5, I want to build my own business. See, and that's another big why. Is some people want to build. A lot of people on this in the audience have their own businesses and they want to build their own business and not have a limit, right? Sometimes you get a limit when you go to work, when you work for other people. So.
And what's interesting to do is sometimes okay, you want to build your own business. Why? Well, I want to be my own boss. Why? And a lot of times when we talk about finding the why, we're not talking about just that surface answer.
Yeah.
Keep going down. Well, why is that important to you? That's good. Why is that important to you? And sometimes as you dig deep, you'll find the why down there at the very bottom that you never even realized because it was buried so deep. But keep asking it, well, why is that important? Why is that important?
That's exactly the worksheet. I know you have your worksheet and yours is, and why do you want that? And what does that give you? That's how you asked it on your worksheet. And on mine, it's why is it important to you? And I'll use an example, right? Why is it important to you to make more money so I can get out of debt or so I can provide for my kids? Why is it important to provide for your kids or get out of debt? Stop working so hard to pay someone else or work for someone else, right? Why is it important to stop working? Because I want to do the things in my life. You know, I want to be able to go on vacation. I want the fruits of my labor. I want more freedom. Why is it important for you to do things in my life? To take care of my mom. Like I said, to take care of my kids was important to me. and who's a widow and needs help. So maybe that's what they want to do. Why is it important to take care of my mom? Because the sacrifice and everything she did for me, right? That could be some of your whys. Why is it important to take care of her? Because I want to be controlled in my life so that I can be there for people around me. That's just an example, but we do 7 in mine. We do what's important to you, about being successful in real estate, if that was what it is. Or why is it important for you to be successful as a coach? Or why is it important for you to be successful as a Mary Kay representative? And you go through those 7 layers. And I think yours, did you share yours, Terry Ann?
I just tried it. It won't let me share through this format. So I will share it afterward.
Shockingly, Terry Ann's is similar, but hers is, why do you want this goal and what will it give you? And then I think she goes down 5 layers of that, which you could go 7, right? And
sure.
what will
keep on going?
And what will this goal help you feel is what she says. And mine says, what will this goal help you accomplish, right? Where are you going with this? So if we look through what we want to do, even like I need to lose weight right now, Terry Ann. So I could go through and do that with that. Why is it important to me? Well, because I don't want to have bad health. See what I'm saying? And I want to be there for my grandson. Well, why is that important to you? Well, because life is short and you want to spend it with those people that you love. See how you can just go all the way down until you get your really rooted why. So when you're thinking of something, like, why are we doing this, Terry Ann? Conversations with Sherry and Terry Ann.
We are doing this to both overcome some fears, to get our names out there, to promote our business, to help others.
And my big why was to make a difference in the community through a pandemic, right? And the funny thing is we could do that 7-layer why together. But guess what, Terry? Your whys are not the same as my whys, even though ultimately our whys came together, right? Our whys, I think, were mainly to help the community, to get our names out there, to promote our business. And we wanted to make a difference in this sad time. And we felt that we worked well together. So those might have been our big whys or some of our whys. But I still know that when we go through that, if you and I sat down, Terry Ann would go, but that's not my why. This is my why. And this is my... And it's okay that we're doing it together and our whys might be a little different. But we did talk about, well, why are we doing this? Before we did this, we didn't just do this. We did do that. I will say we teased everybody and we say, well, we just did this. But we also said, why do we want to do it? Well, I don't like video. Neither do I. Well, if we do it more, we'll get better at it. I don't know how to get out there and promote my business. I was out doing videos. I know. And so was I. Let's do them together. So we did some of that before we even started this. And so I think before you start a big adventure, like I'm writing a book. Why do I want to write a book, right? Not just I want to write a book. Because if you don't have a big enough why, when it gets hard, you're going to stop. You're not going to move forward. That mindset, that roadblock is going to get in your way. And anytime you come up with a big, I can't say that word, is it audacious?
Audacious.
Yeah, goal.
At audacious.
If you come up with one of those huge goals, guess what? Things are going to get in your way.
Sure.
They just are. And so if your why, and if you have your why up on like losing weight, how easy is that, Terry Ann? All of us snap our finger and our weight just goes off.
For me, I snap it, goes the other direction. I quit snapping. Every time I snapped, it went up.
I'm going to eat healthy every day. Okay, then that brownie gets in the way. I'm going to go walk or work out every day, but then I'm tired one day, right? But if I have a big enough why, I'm going to go, yeah, I'm tired. Yes, I want that brownie. But do I want the brownie more than I want to get up and down off the floor with my grandson? Do I want the brownie more than, or should I just eat 1/4 of a brownie or buy a smaller brownie so that I can't eat more than, you know what I mean? So what are those adjustments you need to make to get where you want to be and have that big enough why?
I think it's part of finding that where is that why. A lot for you and me was how can we encourage people through this pandemic? Just the people we know. How can we go beyond just beyond the people we know? Um, I think a lot of times, and the accountability, asking somebody else, hey, talk with me about my why. Let me tell you why this is important to me. Because that person can then remind you, yeah, I know on the surface, yeah, you're tired today, but remember why you're doing this because of the grandchild, because of upcoming daughter's wedding, because of whatever. What you need somebody sometimes to remind you of that why. Because it's real easy for us to cover it up and just say, yeah, it's not a big deal today. Yes, it is. Remember your why. And that's why it's important to even find the why. And that's why you and I both have the worksheets so that you can write it out. And once you've written it out, sometimes, when you put it in writing, oh, this is really important to me. Now that you put it in writing, that adjusts that mindset just a little bit, does some tweaking to it.
Yeah, because it's so important to understand your why. And I know you and I work with clients. My clients a lot of times will lose their why in the middle of, being an entrepreneur and a business owner is hard.
Mm-hmm.
There's pros and there's cons to it, but it's hard work. Sometimes people think, oh, it's better than working corporate America. Well, some days it is. Other days you're going to have those fall down moments. And yes, I love that book.
That is an excellent book.
Why? Yes, that's a really good book. If you have not read it, you should read it. But the why is what keeps you grounded. Like in my room, I loved this saying. It says, success of motherhood is not ever not having failure, but never giving up, was the gist of it. But my oldest son, I had a bunch of teenagers at the time. Believe it or not, I had 3 teenagers at the same time. And I love that saying. And so one year for Mother's Day or my birthday, he framed it and he gave it to me. And it's in my office because it reminds me of my why I do what I do as a mom and as a wife, even when the time's hard, because you're not going to give up. You're going to keep moving forward. There's some days, believe me, especially with teenagers, right? Or toddlers, you feel like giving up. Or babies that never sleep. Have you ever had one of those? But so you think about it, but if you have a big enough why, you're going to stay grounded in what you're doing. It's the same way with your business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I help people in the real world, right? I help people find their why, but I want their why in their business and their life. And they should work together. Your mission, your vision, your purpose. And this is all funny as it's in chapter 2 of my book that I'm writing right now, is finding all that, knowing your vision, your mission, your purpose, not just for your business, but also for your life, and making sure those are in line so that you can create the life and business that you deserve. So that's why and I'm passionate about that, because I've learned over time, life is short. And so are you living out your purpose or your mission or who you want to be? And I think you really need to think about that. So yeah, you're sharing that sheet and it's very, very helpful. And I know you help people find their why as well when they get lost in the dumps of finding their why.
Sure. It's easy to get lost in the chaos of it all. It's just, well, okay, I got to pay the bills. So yes, this is why I'm doing it. Okay, and I paid my bills. Now what? So it does become hard because there's so much going on. Or I'm doing this so I can pay the bills. I can't get the bills paid. Okay, now I got to go do something else. And we just end up running around like a squirrel in a cage. Or is it a hamster in a cage, I guess is what it is.
I always call it a hamster.
The hamster in the cage. So you keep on going around in circles. And by finding your why, it just helps you to get out of that cage, develop a roadmap, knowing that, as with on any road trip, there's going to be obstacles. Have you ever traveled across I-70 and not hit construction somewhere along the way? There's a roadblock everywhere. So when you prepare for that roadblock in your life, towards your dreams, your goals, knowing that that's going to happen. It doesn't mean it has to stop. It just means that, okay, we take a little detour, but we still keep our destination. And the destination is your why. Why is that so important to you? Vitally important.
So I just posted in the chat, No More Dreaded Mondays by Dan Miller. That's another really great book. And of course, he's wrote some more on, right? He's wrote some more stuff on that. But finding your why, No More Dreaded Mondays. People hate Mondays. And I know you work for suicide. You don't work for suicide awareness, but you do a lot with suicide awareness, Terry Ann. So those that don't know, she's very big into suicide awareness. What do you do for them again?
Right now, I'm part of a group called Coaching Suicide Awareness. I'm doing a lot of tech support for them. We just finished our first annual e-summit on Friday.
Oh, that's awesome.
Very informative, looking at suicide and what can we do? You know, what are some of the signs if we notice that kind of a thing?
And the reason why I brought that up is, guess what? And you probably know the stats better than me, Terry Ann. Suicide on Mondays happens a lot because people hate what they do and they need the money and they're worried about paying the bills and they know they have to go to this job that they hate and they just can't do it anymore. And so they need to refocus and come up with a better solution for their job, but they just don't know how. And they've lost their why. And so when they lose their why in their job or career or business, they lose their why in life, and therefore they might try to commit suicide.
Then they lose hope.
Yeah. But I also thought you guys would also want to know that our dear Terry Ann has a passion for that and helps lots of people with that, because that is important. The day you find your why in your work is the day you will never work another day of your life. See, that's what Gerald always told me. The why makes the journey worth it. And that's what Gerald always said. Yes. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. But
now that doesn't mean that you'll never have a bad day.
Oh, no, he even says you got to go to meetings and you got to go to stuff you don't like. But overall, right, he used to laugh. He got to hang out with customers, traveled all over. He liked what he did. And I cried when I left my job as a system analyst for Sprint. I cried when I put in my 2-week notice. I loved that job. I was good at the job. And they even offered me like more money to stay. But I loved my family. And I loved my other part of my life. And being on call and other things, I couldn't figure out the balance. So I started my own company and I worked my schedule the last 22 years around my kids, because my why, right, is God, family, and then my career. And when I do what I do today, I help other people find, and it, you know, not everybody's a Christian. I get that, but what's important to you, and make sure they're in order. And when my life is in alignment and my values are in alignment, I am such a happier person. And I don't dread, I love Mondays. I can't wait for Monday. But then again, I can't wait for the weekend. I can't wait for Wednesday when I get to hang out with Terry Ann. I don't know which day I don't like, if that makes any sense. I wake up and I go, oh my gosh, it's Wednesday. Terry Ann and I are getting together. Oh, it's Monday. Oh my goodness, I get to meet with these clients. Oh, it's the weekend. Oh, I have friends coming over. I'm hanging out with my husband. So I don't, you know, or maybe my kids, if I'm lucky, are coming around, right? But then my kids will come around on a Monday night. You never know. So anyway.
It's enjoying life where you're at. Enjoying life where you're at.
Yes.
No matter what.
And Grace said, congratulations on working with suicide prevention. And of course, that's another conversation because we're out of time. But don't worry, my dear friend Terry Ann has her why in doing that even. So find those passionates of what you are passionate about and go help and support those nonprofits, the ones that you're passionate about and you want to make a difference. Even do that to create the life and life that you want, because that's important as well, to give back to the community. All right, what are we going to talk about next week? Because we need to close up.
I knew you were going to ask that. Let me go back to my pictures over here and tell you next week. Okay, we talked about today finding your why. Now, once you find your why, How do you put your why into action? That is next week's conversation. Put your why into action.
All right, guys. I will see everybody next week on the 22nd. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Mm-mm.